The wealthiest place in the world has never been the bank vault, nor the Silicon Valley boardroom. It's not even the Wall Street. It's always been placed inside you. But here is the tragedy. Most people die with that wealth locked up, never accessed, never shared, never multiplied. And if that is you, today's training is for you. It's a wake-up call for us to have a rethink, to re-strategize, to reset, and make our life a masterpiece. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adeola Atekoja, and I'm a book writing coach and publishing strategist. And on this channel, we dive into tools, framework, and strategies that will help you in packaging your wisdom, your skills, and your expertise into publishing, income generating assets. So today's episode, we are diving into something that will change your life. And that is what I titled the step-by-step blueprint writing your legacy book. And it's going to be a part one of that mini series that I'm going to be doing today. And I want to sound the alarm with a wake-up call that every aspiring author out there, as you are listening, and if you get to watch this video on replay, this video is meant for you. And so, if you're ready, let's get into it. The first question I'm going to be directing our attention to in today's video is, I want you to please take your time, pick a pen and a paper or your journal, and let's get into a space where we can take a deep reflection on what I'm going to be asking you. And make sure you do take your time to do this exercise. I want you to ask yourself this question. It might sound tough, but it is important. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, at this critical junction in my life, at my moment that I'm living, does what I'm doing really matters? Does what I'm currently doing matters? That is question number one. Question number two is, am I making any difference in my work? Am I making any tangible difference around my space? The next question is question number three. Am I making the world around me a better place? You might be thinking the world at large. No, I want you to look at the world around you, your space, where you wake up every day, your environment, your school, your niche, a place of influence. Are you making that world, that space, a better place? And then number four, if I were to die, if you were to die tomorrow, will you be happy with the life you have lived? As I'm asking this question, I'm also directing it to myself. I want you to take a deep breath and be honest. What is the life I'm living? Does it matter? Am I making any difference that anybody will ever miss me? Am I making my world a better place? And if I were to be no more tomorrow, who is that person that will be happy with the life I'm living? Will I even be happy? And so, are you spending your time more on those things that truly, really matters? Or you are engaging in drama? You are allowing the society, you are allowing the distractions, you are allowing the noise, the drama to take your eyes off the most important thing that matters most to your life. Have you ever thought of passing down your life lessons, your philosophies, your experiences, those things that make you tick? Have you thought of passing those knowledge and wisdom down to your kids or even your grandkids? If you answer no to every of the questions that I've just asked, it is the right moment for you and I to effect the change. To decide, this half year, I'm going to live a life of legacy, a life that truly matters. If that is you, I want you to congratulate yourself, because you are embarking on a journey that is going to make you come out of being the most best kept secret to being the one that is unleashed to your world, and you are able to begin to show what really matters. And then when we talk about you deciding to begin to live a life that truly matters, a life that leaves a legacy behind, what does that look like? For you, what does that life look like? It might be maybe you going back to school to finally study what you truly love. You know, a lot of us, by virtue of how our parental upbringing and the kind of society that raised us, some of us found ourselves in degrees and in programs and in courses that actually have no bearing with the passion and with what we are being wired up for. A lot of us were an extension of our parents' desire. If our parents never got any child to study the law they read, or to study medicine, which was their own profession, and they are looking for children that will help them perpetuate or continue, and just ask you, so, honey, you're going to study law. Honey, you're going to study medicine. And just you to just fulfill their joy and just keep them happy, you decided to go. And maybe 4 or 5 years down the lane has never truly produced the true happiness and the fulfillment you ever want. It might be maybe you need to now take a trip off every distraction that have kept you believing that you cannot change your life. Maybe it is another point for you to decide to start and embark on a marathon journey of eating healthier, eating healthy food, cutting off from all the junks and every other thing that does not productively help your body to grow to a lasting one that will keep your spirit till the end when you eventually old. A lot of people, their spirit still very strong, but their body so weak that sometimes they can have maybe let's for paraphrase, they can have a 20-year-old spirit and their body is looking like a 90-year-old, and so it cannot be sustained. And if you start from now and begin to train yourself to begin to embark on that lifestyle of eating healthier, to start going to the gym that you have abandoned, to start deliberately and intentionally choosing what you eat because you are what you eat. Or it might even be that you finally deciding to write that book. You remember? Yes, that book. The one in your heart, the one you have been telling everybody you're going to write, but you haven't gotten the time, the courage, even the intentionality to take the first thing, to write the first line. I want to remind you this. Books do change life. And you should know it that your book can literally change lives. When you decide to write it, you are showing to those around you what it means to chase your dream. What it means. You know, sometimes when you live your life around people, some people will get impacted. Some people will get motivated. Some people will get to that place whereby they are beginning to see that actually, wait a minute, there's something about this person, because we have been able to demonstrate what it means to chase your dream with God. And that is a possibility, one with God. I want you to take you back in the memory lane, and when I chose and decided to write my first, what is it over there? It's titled Connecting the Dots. Connecting the dots. When I decided to connect the dots of my life, and I began on that journey and on the pathway of making meaning out of my life purpose, dream, ambition. You know something that I discovered? It is something that I now call leverage impact. So you look at something you do once, one message written once, and that first one book, and it's going to impact hundreds of thousands and even billions. You might be wondering, how do I know? Let me break it down. My decision to write my first book, first and foremost, impacted the readers. Everybody that laid their hands on the copy of my book were impacted on the stories that I share. My friends, families, they were all inspired by seeing that I could finish what I started. And I think I've told the story and I will share it again for some of you that are just coming across for the first time. And by the way, if this is your first time getting across to this channel, I would like and indulge that you please give this video a like. Please subscribe, press the subscribe button, and also make sure you do like this video and put a comment on how this video is helping to change and renew your mindset. So I tell you the story again. I was eyeing a 9-figure, 7-figure job, done all the certification, passed, started interviewing, first round, second round, and on the third round, I just discovered that I don't go beyond that round. On the third round, I just don't get along in that space. It was almost getting me frustrated. And that very year, I got an opportunity to work with a coach. And that coach told me, why not? With all the videos and the trainings I've been having on my YouTube channel, I decided that I'm going to share my story. And working on that story, all my friends and all my family, when I eventually did launch that book, you know what happened to them? They were all inspired. As a matter of fact, all my colleagues that were in that same group, that community we were studying and interviewing together, many of them could not believe that I could literally start from like 3 months, like October of that year, and by December 31st, I finished mine. And it was launched on the 1st January. You know, I can never forget that story. And there's one person whose life was changed radically because of my obedience and my decision to write my first book. That was the 74-year-old Mr. Folorunsho Adu. That man's life was radically changed because he took the decision on attending my book launch to go start that vision, to go rekindle that vision of him writing his first book. And guess what? His book was published in 2024. So, I want you to imagine this way. If you are somebody that is desirous of starting a business, somebody who has always loved to teach about how you can live a wholesome relationship, and all of these changes, because you decided to write those books, lives are being changed. People are living toxic relationships. They are embracing wholeness. They are embracing self-love. They are embracing their ability to be able to love on themselves rather than keep struggling in an unwholesome relationship, all in the name of quote unquote love. All this impact and influence is happening just because you decided to say yes to writing your book. So I want you to see that this is beyond you just thinking that it's all about you. It is about the life, the friends, one person at a time, that group, somebody that you will never meet, that the book will be shared with, that the link will be shared with, that will see it on this friend status and will go and look it up. All because you say yes to writing. So what happened to me that I was just briefly sharing with you was after I wrote my first book. And by the way, I wrote my second book, and the third is on the way by the end of this quarter. I'm going to be launching it. What happened to me was that my friends, colleagues, and loved ones started asking me, how did you do it? How did you write your book? And you got it launched. So in that space, because I told you that this book, I wrote one book once, and the impact has become a ripple effect that has never stopped. After that, I decided to create a short training, a short workshop on how they can write and publish their own books also in 3 months, because I did mine for 3 months. And I can tell you, 24 people joined. Just like that. And out of that 24 people that attended that webinar, that small training online, 5 people turned out to be my first clients that were published that year, 2023. When we were in the diaspora, because I connected more with people from my place, because I have also noticed that most of our Africans professionals in the diasporas that are doing great things, that are professionals, they have it all put together. Many of them are not seeing the need why they have to preserve their expertise. They can pass it forward in such a way that the next generation can have something to learn from, can have something to hold on, they can have something to remember. And that is one of the core that led me into this campaign. And wait a minute, as many of them that kept saying they are busy and they don't have the time to sit down and pen their stories, pen their expertise, tell their life story, their life philosophy, I'm going to be the bridge that they can leverage to getting this done. So many of them, their stories were still being held in their hearts, but now, one by one, they are saying yes to that desire to write, publish their own book. And you can be the next. And that is why this is very important. So you can imagine from one book, regardless, forget about the sales, had massive sale, the first 250, I ordered another 200, and then several people were just picking the book. And then I was having invitation over the summer to come talk, to come address, having to go to churches, small women communities, giving talks. It's massive. And then now, so having and becoming the CEO of a book publishing firm that is running into 6 figures, helping people that are purpose-driven unlock their voice in form of a book. This is beyond me. And I can only imagine what lies ahead of you. Saying yes to your dream, saying yes to that decision, because it begins with you saying yes. And I want you to take a moment and just look at this in this perspective, that before you now decide, because I believe some of you that are watching, you might have begun to see that it is possible. This is just this ordinary me of 60 kg, and I've just told you what one book I've been able to do for me. I gave me the freedom that I was able to leave my 9 to 5 to be able to have more time for my children, to be able to be present in the important events of their lives. So if you are interested and you are motivated to see that this is a possibility for you, before you write, you got to know your why. I want to share briefly with you, know your why. Before you think of writing, what is the first question I want you to ask yourself is, why is this book important to me? Why? Why do I want to write this book? Number 2 question, what impact do I want this book to make? Why is this book important, and what impact do I want this book to make? And what will it do for others? What will this book do for others? And for me, so we are not looking at a selfish, motivated reason for writing. Oh, I just want to be a bestseller author on Amazon or New York, whatever. Oh, I just want to have sales and royalties so that I can increase my, as good as those things are. Must begin to get to a deeper core of what impact will this book make in the life of your readers. Because writing book has dual purpose. There is something that the reader needs to get out of it. That is what is going to make them to keep talking about your book and being able to share and refer it to others and talk. And then you know that mouth and one-on-one marketing is the best. So you want to see what is in it for those people. And then what do you want it to do for you? Because if you don't have a purpose, sometimes along the line, you don't know, you might stop. If you know this book is important, it's part of how you're going to preserve your legacy. It's part of how you're going to introduce and transition into your business and to pivot into that passion that you have been living uncultivated. Then you've got to pay attention to, I remember this quote by Steve Covey, and he talked about begin with the end in mind. Some of the 7 habits of highly effective people talked about begin with the end in mind. So as many of you that are aspiring authors that are watching this video at this moment, I want to encourage you to start with this question so that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there if you don't know where you're going. But if you know, you can, with prescription, apply your GPS, log it in, and it will navigate you straight to where you want to go. So I hope you have been able to pick 1 or 2 points and instructive tips that you need to start thinking about while you embark on the journey to want to write your book. And the first one I want to say is you must never forget this. Your story deserves to be told, and your voice matters. Get out of those space, those community of people that are naysayers, that people that cannot stand you talk about your dream without them being irritated, without them being feeling you are going to upset them and rough their ruffle. I want you to begin to come to a community of like-minded people who are battery chargers and who will help flame your vision. It's about putting up your legacy in form of a book to reality. Remember, your legacy begins with one decision to write. And so if you are ready to begin this journey, I want you to get into the description button in this video, and you can quickly download my free guide on stress-free book writing and publishing. Yes, you will see it below this video. And so don't forget, part 2 of this video continue. And in that space, I'm going to walk you through the 4 specific purpose of writing your book and how to start writing it this month and finish it strong. By the way, if you are just watching for the first time, kindly make sure you subscribe and then press the notification bell so you get notified when this series comes up, part 2 comes up live, and also share this with somebody that you know needs to hear this. I want you to comment in the chat. What's your reason for wanting to write your book? Is it passion? Is it purpose? Is it business? Is it legacy? Is it breakthrough? Whatever it is, I want you to comment. I'm ready to begin. And until I come your way next time, remember, your dream is valid and you can't stop loving you. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye.